You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
It's the John Doe Radio Show.
This is all I do. See, this is what it sounds like when someone handcuffs themselves to their work.
DJ Feel Will.
This is really about educating the public about the fact that marijuana is a less harmful drug.
Marijuana, that's to get high.
You can be as high as you want.
The prohibition of marijuana over the last 71 years has not actually prevented you from using marijuana.
You feel weak.
Close to winning the war on drugs.
I do believe there have been some successes.
We will never arrest our way out of this problem.
Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show. I am your host, John Doe. Thank you for hanging out with us live at iCannabisRadio.com. I am here with our co-host, Bike Holly. Welcome. How you doing?
All right.
It is a Thursday here in the Mile High City. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a Friday yesterday. But that's not true.
You didn't like my imitation of you?
I didn't
tell it was you.
I couldn't tell it was me. You did a horrible job.
I'll work on that.
You did a horrible job.
I'll do that sometimes.
Shame on you.
Yeah. So
what?
Oh, I don't know. I was just going to talk out loud about we got to get some guests.
So, there's been a lot of news this week. We've taken a small break, and people haven't been exactly easy to get a hold of this week.
I know, but we should just work.
We'll have more guests back on next week.
Just work a little harder.
It's also trying to relax a little bit for us this week too. You know. It was a little bit of a trying week for myself.
Really? You're a young man. Are you even 30 years old yet? Please, you don't hear me.
This year I will be.
I got over it in about a half a day.
Dude, I'm tired, man, and I'm feeling like I'm getting a cold too. I got a sore throat.
You're getting cup cough. Like everyone else is complaining about the throat. I felt my throat scratching up a couple days ago, and I've been going powerhouse with the Cold Ease spray. I have two sprays and go.
I've had a couple of emergencies.
This is easy. It's 2 sprays and go. You don't have to drink a whole shizzy orange flavored.
It's like a couple days.
Drink.
This is like a couple days. I kind of been fighting it off a little bit, and today I was like,
get some Cold Ease spray and spritz it right under your tongue, and you'd be like, bleh. All right, cool.
I'm seeing people pop up with.
I'm seeing people going down.
I don't know if it was like this
throat
late of a. I mean, this is a couple days after.
Yeah, it was a sleeper. It was a creeper.
This year's was a little bit of a creeper. I'm not even gonna try and think about it because I'm not gonna give it the will. I'm starting another gig today too at a grow store next door, so I can't be getting sick.
How are you gonna get there from one job to the other?
It's like right next door. Grow your own grow store.
Oh hey, speaking of music, the first song with all the sound bites or what song is that? It's Boston Steve was one.
The song was playing at the beginning of this?
Yeah, no, before Snow Seeds.
The song I played at the very beginning of the show.
No, I think he means the one with all the sound bites. The Chain Gang song.
The Chain Gang song?
Yeah.
That's the one I played at the very beginning, dude.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, he wants to know what song that is.
It's probably called Chain Gang.
Yeah, there's some unreleased stuff.
Hold on. I don't know exactly. I'll have to... Oh, there it is. I got it from... You look at the interruption. I'll find it here in a second.
Do it.
Big thanks to our sponsors that make the John Doe Radio Show possible.
Let's start with a different sponsor. Start with
Compassionate Pain Management. CompassionatePM.com. Big thanks to Compassionate PM. I did cut you off.
Because I see that Adam Hand is in the chat room, so you should start with handmade.biz so I can ask you again if you brought my t-shirts and
I didn't.
Tell me you didn't, which I knew.
I looked at them as I was walking out the door, and I just felt like shiz, and I didn't want to take it with me.
I picture you half the day like Homer Simpson has that thought bubble above his head when he has the monkey playing the drum, the wind-up monkey.
What are you talking
Bring
about?
my friggin' shirts in, man.
You gonna come pick them up? You got a car?
I don't have a car.
What's that thing that looks like a van?
It's Melanie's van. I don't have a car.
I'm trying to find the summary judgment in this paperwork.
Pretty sure.
I have the legal. Today, we'll talk about court appeals court decision here in Colorado that decided that smoking marijuana is still illegal as far as a job goes, and you can be fired, which is horrible. I think I just screwed up everything and got all these papers out of order. That would suck. Luckily, they're numbered at the bottom. Anyway, this dude got fired from Dish Network and then sued him. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Big thanks to Adam Hand, handmadeapparel.biz. By the way, Adam, today is like the only day that I've taken off that zip-up that you gave me. He gave me his zip-up from the time that we all bought zip-ups. When Adam, we got some stuff from Adam originally. Handmadeapparel.biz, handmadeapparel.biz. And
I can't thank him because I still haven't seen a shirt.
You can come grab a shirt anytime
or
you
could just bring it here every day.
No, if I got to take the light rail, I'm not taking like 2, 3, 4, 5 shirts on the light rail with me. I already got to take my rig with me. And I get on the light rail, and I think people are going to think, like, what's he got in there?
He's got shirts.
Is it Is it a bong?
He's got shirts.
Is it a bomb? Is it a gun? I worry about that. I'm holding a case in my hand, getting.
I worry about what's going to happen if you don't have shirts here tomorrow.
Dude, you can come get your shirts.
This is the last time I'm going to say it.
Get your shirts.
Bring them to me here tomorrow. Thanks.
Or what?
I didn't say or what anything. I just made a statement. If it sounds a little douchey, it's because I'm kind of like, what the
Well, come get a shirt, dude.
I got things to do. We meet here every day. There's no sense in you not bringing him here to me. Bring him. Can you get rid of this song?
No.
It's horrible.
I left it on just for you. And also, you can come get him. Thanks, Adam. I haven't taken that zip up really off, except for today, because it's way warmer than I thought it was going to be outside.
Because it's easier than showering.
I got dressed. No showering.
No showering. Exactly.
No, what do you... God. It's nice, and it's warm. Today,
It's nice and warm
I took my
outside.
jacket with me, the hoodlum jacket, when I should have taken that one. I thought I was going to be a little bit colder, but I didn't think it would be cold enough for both of them. And I got outside down the block, and I was like, it's way too hot for the hoodlum. But whatever. Fantastic, beautiful day here in Colorado. The weather this year was just nuts. April weather.
Always is.
Farking nuts. It is pretty much always nuts during the year. Also, big thanks to Compassionate Pain Management, CompassionatePM.com. CompassionatePM.com. A holistic wellness center that can help your cannabis needs. That's accurate. Go and check them out. They got fantastic deals on herbs. Tell them the John Doe Radio Show sent you. And they may wink at you. They will definitely give you good customer service. And like we said yesterday, that customer service is the number one thing for me. I threw all the crazy beds up at front. I just wanted to...
I haven't heard this in a minute, so... Specific customer service.
You got to have good customer service.
Don't be a chatty know-it-all.
I was talking last night and telling people your views of how... Because people enjoyed the conversation. Georgia said she enjoyed the conversation. A few other people said they enjoyed the conversation we had about customer service.
Yes.
And, I went and told a couple people, hey, that was a good conversation. I was like, yeah, Bike really doesn't like when people chat in front of him in line and just hold up the line.
I hate that. Oh, my God. Get the F out of my way. Can you, talk while she's ringing me up? If you're going to talk? All it is one person saying blah, 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 and the other person saying, I know.
Dude, but check this out. When you go to your dealer, I don't know if I went over this part of it yesterday.
Friends with my dealers.
I'm
friends with
the
them. I'll
dealer
sit and
situation,
chat.
dude. I miss the dealer situation. I really do. To where I had people come over. They would come in toke. Sometimes they'd be in a hurry. They'd leave real quick. But that always made...
Those are the people that didn't like you. They just liked your weed.
Those were all probably.
They're out there.
Those were the people that always made you nervous. So you always had to go over and hang out at your dealer's house for, at least an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, hold on. Here's a great example. You just totally brought me back to 1997 where this guy, we called him, don't call me dude, Dave. His name was Dave.
Don't call me dude, Dave.
And he hated when someone was like, hey, dude, what's up? He would just freak out if someone called him dude. And this,
I bet that happened
and that
quite
was
a bit.
only part of his paranoia. He would, if you wanted to get, he had the bomb. Everyone know Don't Call Me Dude. Dave had the bombs. He had skunk bud back in the day, and he always had it. So it was a commitment to go get some weed from this guy, no matter what you get, in a gram or an ounce. You had to hang out and watch a movie. He's like, I don't want any traffic. You can come over. You pick out the movie. We're gonna watch the whole thing. He was just desperate.
That's not that crazy.
Listen, it was no. I didn't really like the guy.
That's actually pretty normal.
No,
that would suck.
No, dude. I need to grab an ounce and I gotta go to work. I don't have time to watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to here, and this guy would just bitch about everything.
Yeah, there's this guy too. that I used to buy from. That was about the same way. He
Nobody
made you come and stay.
Nobody really liked him. This is his
ended
way
up
to
getting-
force people to hang out with him. I swear to God.
Dude, the same kind of thing happened. Like
Jim Bob can vouch for me.
when I was up in the mountains, dude. There was this dude that just wouldn't let you leave, and then he ended up getting in trouble. He ended up getting raided before I did, and then I got raided after that. Ridiculous. It's not safe to be a weed dealer in a small town in Colorado that has a drug task force. So that part of it is very, very enjoyable to me, and it's part I miss a lot, is conversating with your customers, man. Getting to know people, bullshizzing with them. Sometimes you would end up being friends and you would go do fun things together.
But here's the thing. Sure, that can happen.
Dude, it happens all the time.
Absolutely.
Doesn't happen with your crack dealer, though.
But I
don't have a crack dealer.
I'm just so conditioned to being coming from Massachusetts, just to being a get the F out of my way. Hurry up. Just get out of my way. Hurry up. You got to get somewhere just as bad as I do. Let's go. That still comes out in me here. I try not to let it come out that much, but...
And people just look at you like you're a dick.
I am, but get out of my way.
So yeah, I missed that part about it. Dude, I really, really, really cannot wait. I emailed last night because it's going to be talked about today. Speaking of important things and talking and stuff. Like how I connected that. Last night I emailed, or when I got home, I emailed 13 members of the House Finance Committee, which, if you can, right now, if you're listening in our chat room live on the John Doe Radio Show, iCannabisRadio.com, it's 11 o'clock in the Mile High. At 1 o'clock, I think, is when this scheduled meeting is going to happen, and what I really need you guys to do right now is go to my page, go to Tim Martin's page on Facebook. And I don't agree with the whole letter that's reposted here, but it's just a letter for you to start off with and send off. Because I know sometimes that, you know, you're like, okay, it's easy to email somebody, but it's not so easy to think of something to say. Well, this is already typed out for you. Change it how you want. Add, subtract, do whatever you need, obviously. But what's going to be discussed today, members of the House Finance Committee, I write to you to ask for your support for the amendment that will be offered by Representative Melton to House Bill 13-1317, which is Amendment 64 bill, which will be heard in the House Finance Committee today. The amendment to Part 3, Part 3, Section blah, 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 would provide a person who has a discharged felony for marijuana possession, cultivation, or distribution would be permitted to demonstrate rehabilitation and the good moral character standard for licensure as an owner of a retail marijuana establishment. This amendment is a matter of civil justice and honors the spirit of Amendment 64, which legalized that behavior and to regulate marijuana like alcohol. Individuals who have a felony on their record have a difficult time finding employment. Now, this letter goes on to say, but I do not agree with this part of it, and I took this out and added my own wordings in. This says, while I support the suitability requirements for felonies in general in the bill, I am troubled that a person who may have an incidence of violence or sexual misconduct in their past would be given preferential treatment over a person who was caught with marijuana prior to Amendment 64. I just took out the beginning of that because I think once you've served your time, you've served your time, and you shouldn't be kept from doing 99.9% of everything. Now, if you have offended as a sexual offender, I mean, I'm not going to let you around kids. That's the only real big exceptions, I think, are for situations, sexual misconduct. I'd like to throw in there people that have, committed manslaughter and other things. But, if they've served their time and they've got out of jail and they've rehabbed themselves and they're currently not in any trouble and there is a period of time between their trouble and then getting into something, I mean, even part of this letter is asking for something, in my opinion, that's unreasonable, and that's giving them, 5-10 year period. Let me just finish this. So that makes sense there. The amendment did not legalize physical abuse, theft, or rape. Therefore, while it is appropriate that these people should not be allowed to show their reform, it is illogical that a person with marijuana charge cannot. And I reworded that part of it too. The war on marijuana, which the voters rejected in Amendment 64, has disproportionately impacted low-income communities and communities of color. This change in the bill is required so that this judicial injustice is not continued as an economic injustice. Finally, Amendment 64 was passed as the campaign to regulate marijuana like alcohol. Therefore, I do not believe prohibiting a recovered marijuana felon, as in medical marijuana, is appropriate. A person with any felony can apply for a liquor license 5 years after the sentence has been discharged, while 10 years does not provide true equity. It is important step towards helping. It is an important step to help towards helping some resume their lives. I have problems reading. And provide for their families, and most importantly, stay out of trouble. I mean, I can't agree more that our sentencing system and the requirements for after you've become a felon, I mean, it really creates a ceiling a lot of the times for what you can and cannot do. And if we expect people to be rehabilitated, we expect people to be responsible and do the things that they need to do in our society after they've failed. We are a society of second chances. We're a society of sometimes third and fourth, fifth chances. I mean, that's what's the great thing sometimes. You have an opportunity to be able to make up for those mistakes. I mean, in America, it seems sometimes that it's one of those countries that you don't have an opportunity sometimes, though. And, it seems like it's getting more and more difficult for you to recover from those situations. And really, a lot of the time, the only answer that some felons have to be able to succeed with themselves in the who they are, where they want to go, is to create their own business. To put together something that they're good at and just open their own business from there. Which is a fantastic thing that can happen. But at the same time, it's ridiculous that you would have someone, I mean, exactly what this is talking about. It's ridiculous that you would, number one, keep someone that has a cannabis felony or cannabis offense from being an employee and not leaving it up to the business to be able to run background checks on that employee and decide for themselves whether or not that person is morally able to work for them. Fully in agreement with that. And then, okay, so you have this requirement for liquor licenses here in Colorado, where if you're 5 years within a felony charge, 5 years, you can't get it. But there's a certain time frame that you can. Okay, fine. I'll go with you on that and bend at the knees and say, okay, 5 years is okay. We're going with 10 years here, which I don't agree with. But it's a start, and hopefully we can change something. We can change that. But it's very important we do create some sort of system that allows people like myself, lots of people that I know, that, here in the past 10 years, have tripped over the system by faults of our own. I'm the majority of, faults of our own. Take 100% responsibility for not following a law. Law shouldn't have been of law necessarily. Should have been more of an economic issue of not owning a business. But at the time, there wasn't anything like that. You couldn't. I mean, it was like really the only difference between me and somebody that was running a legal business was, they had a storefront.
Right. And paid taxes.
There were lots of people during that time that were serving people that didn't have cards either. And taxes. That's the biggest thing. And I'd say that's the biggest thing that I feel most guilty over me getting in trouble. Is that I didn't give back in taxes. I did not pay my way in taxes.
Income taxes, at least.
for slanging the greens. 2 legal patients and non-legal patients. So, yes, that's bad, okay? To take responsibility for that 100%. But I've served I did my punishment. And it's not just for this in cannabis. It's for things across the board with felons. It's bothersome. I mean, someone like me, I've had fantastic jobs before in the past. I mean, I'm a great worker. I really am. When I want to do something, when it comes down to having a gig and being responsible, I could do that.
Tell me why you're going to be an asset to my company, Tim.
Since I have done John Doe Radio, that's my focus. This is where my heart's been. This is what I've wanted to do. Blew me away that I couldn't get into the industry. I let that trip me up quite a bit for a long time. I'm still taking deep breaths on these things. It's still trying to make sure that things stay along the line. That's where this John Doe Radio comes in, is keeping focus on this, because we've done it for 5+ years now. So why not keep it going? But also figuring out how to stay on the feet otherwise. That's where a gig next door comes into play. And it just so happens is one of those where I can give probably some of my talents and knowledge, and not only get to give people knowledge, but more so probably talk with all the growers that I'm going to get to talk to. 2118 South Bel Air Street, by the way, come and hang out. Not come and hang out, but come and
buy stuff.
Come buy stuff from Grow Your Own, from GYO. You guys may remember GYO. It was just a long time sponsor of JDR. If it weren't for GYO, for the early years of John Doe Radio, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't be here. No, because they completely, sponsored the show with anything we needed.
And then the show moved right next door to them,
which is weird. It is kind of weird.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It was the first grow store that I ever went to. Actually, Paul Token introduced me to these guys. And just were fantastic to us. Pretty much anything I needed.
What do you need?
Anything I needed, I just went over there, and they took care of it. Supported. It's great. Check them out. So please, if you get a chance, go to my Facebook page and email them. Got about an hour and a half before they discuss it, and it would be nice to see as many emails about this situation as possible. As all you got to do is just copy and paste, write your own, cut and do whatever you need to do. Send it as it is if you agree with everything, and then just copy each one of these email addresses into an email and send that off. Or there's a phone number right here. Start at the top and start dialing offices, which is harder to ignore than an email. I emailed everybody because it was after hours yesterday. Now I get home till like 7:30 or something. All right. I tried to pay attention to the Amendment 64 hearings yesterday, and God, man, these guys are clueless.
What is going on?
Number one, it was hard to hear because I had small speakers. I just had my laptop with me. I had it all the way up, and with government broadcasts and stuff, sometimes they're not the highest of quality. Just some of the things they're talking about, are just ridiculously dumb. The lawmakers have no clue how our industry runs, or terms, or the way things go, the flow process. One guy was like, this is one of the least worrisome things that somebody talked about, but he was talking about how limiting content and sales and all this other stuff, and he's like talking about how, this is what it was. He was talking about testing and product, what's that word? Quality assurance.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for. He was talking about quality assurance and how that's going to probably, that's something that we need to do. How everybody across the board has quality assurance, especially with things that are ingested. And one of the things that he pointed out, which I never really thought of, but just skimmed over it, not just talking about mildew and mold and all that other stuff, contaminants inside of your cannabis, but one of the main things that he started talking about and pushing was that consumers have accurate tests of how potent their cannabis is. So if you're buying something that's top shelf quality and you're paying a certain amount for that, because he says, okay, you can go into a shop and sometimes there's 3, 4, 5, 6 different tiers of payment that you can make for a strain. So if you buy that strain that has 15, 20, 25% THC that they claim and you pay a certain amount for it, they were talking about how you need to get that. That if it goes back and it tests for like 5, 10%, then that's a problem. But at the same time, also, somebody, obviously somebody got to this guy because he talked about how there was standards that were being formed in the industry with testing, but that, not a lot of them were, that some of the groups were not working together. They're not accurate when you match them up. I mean, that part was frustrating because he still argued that, this situation should be put in place, but that the company would decide who tested their greens and whatever on like an annual basis or something like that. But you know what? Like, leave that up to the MED, the Marijuana Enforcement Division, to decide that, and have surprise inspections of, okay, we're going to come in and we're going to take samples of your product and we're going to bring it to one specific place. The state of Colorado contracts with one place, which is not too rare for them contracting with people that test.
Why doesn't the state have their own lab for testing?
I don't know. I'm not too down with that. I don't want the state. I want independent testing. I don't want the state to have control over it, and I don't want
independent than
high
the state?
Interest. The state's not independent, especially when it comes to cannabis. Would you
it?
trust this? One thing yesterday that I did notice is that they were starting to talk more and more like, all right, cannabis is here. The voters voted on this. We got to do this. Like, it was like they completely accepted it, but we're just dumb about it, which was really cool. Why would you want the state that? Why would you want a state, people that hate what we do, really? I mean, they're getting better at it. Why would you rather have that
governor,
than
not everyone else specifically?
I mean, it's still not friendly. Why would you rather have the state though than an independent agency testing it?
I think the state is independent.
No, they're not.
Well, how not?
They're the governing body.
They don't have any direct investments in these dispensaries.
They do have investment in dispensaries.
Whereas some of these dispensaries own laboratories or parts of laboratories.
That's understandable, and that's why requirements make it that you don't have any sort of stake in any of these places.
Well, I think that
but see, here's the thing that I worry about.
I'm pretty sure that would cancel out all the cannabis testing labs in Colorado.
Well, then maybe somebody would have to open one that doesn't. But here's the deal with the state of Colorado, though. I mean, they failed their audit, dude. They failed the audit. The MMED did.
MMED failed their audit.
So who's to say that the state would not try and
they need more money in their budget, obviously.
Fark up some sort of testing situation to make it look better on their part. I would personally rather have.
How could they benefit from saying that has 22% THC and this has 16?
I don't know. I would rather have an independent agency be responsible for it. It just seems to me like that's the way it should be.
Sounds like there's a market for an independent, or there would be a market for an independent lab.
And I think that's how it should go. And there's going to be testing of some sort. You're going to have on packaging the how many milligrams edibles are and how much percentage THC, CBD, CBN your cannabis and extracts and all that are. Which I'm not. I don't mind that at all. And especially the way that they put it with protecting consumers. But then at the same time, what worries me is that some of these tests are not that accurate. You test one part of the bud, you get a different test result than if you test, right below that part on the bud,
Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us. Please continue to hold.
What is that?
this music.
When you bring in your own damn music, then you can start.
What can I get some that's not going to be deleted?
The fark in front door. Bring in your own music.
This is the show killer right here. This
is not the show killer. God, I'm fast forwarding it just so I don't have to hear your shit. Bring in some bluegrass or something like that.
Where do you want me to bring it from?
I don't know.
I need some direction here. I'm not a big radio star like you. I don't know where to get music.
It's lame that you always refer back to me as the big radio star.
It's an easy one. It's an easy out.
Lame-o when you do that. Dude, bring in your own music. I'm sure that if you brought in some bluegrass that we could play it in the background,
have music
it would
anywhere.
be perfectly fine. Well, then shut up.
Give me a USB plug, and you can plug it in my computer right now, and I'll start driving. I'll DJ the whole show. Figure out how I can run the music from
I don't
my
have
computer.
an issue with it, man.
Okay, give me the plug then.
A divided Colorado Court of Appeals panel on Thursday upheld the firing of a man for off-the-job medical marijuana use, concluding that because marijuana is illegal under federal law, employees have no protection to use it anytime. The decision, which is precedent-setting, has broad implications not just for medical marijuana patients, but for any adult using marijuana in Colorado since voters legalized the substance in November. This is such crap, dude. The case is the first look at whether off-duty marijuana use that is legal under state law is protected by Colorado's lawful off-duty activity statute. The statute says employers can't fire employees for doing legal things off the clock. By the way, big thanks to Chris Matz for bringing this to my attention today and actually giving me the whole court case for it. If you would like good representation, criminal defense, marijuana business consultation, make sure you holler at Edson, Mayton, and Matz, warrenedson.com.
Let's be real. Chris came in and gave that to me.
He gave it to you, yeah.
And I updated you on what was going on.
But then I went and talked with him
and you
about
thought you knew it already, and then you were like, oh.
No, I didn't know it already. I didn't think I knew it already.
You did. You're like, oh, yeah, it's Colorado.
And then I went to him and talked to him about it.
But you wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for me. Come on, I'm an important link here to news.
I pulled it up in the news story section, but
After
thank
I told
you for keeping
all right, that's
hold
all I
of
wanted.
the.
Thank you.
I still would have got it without you being here.
Oh, sir.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to take away your steam there.
Go after yourself.
That's the spirit. The case is we read that. Brandon Coates, a quadriplegic medical marijuana patient who was fired from his job as a telephone operator at Dish Network. I'm telling you right now, okay? I'm telling you right now. I worked for a few years in Dish Network in corporate, the call center.
Jeez.
The call center in corporate, right out of high school.
Wow. Thrown to the Sharks right after high school.
Dude, I knew the mayor of Sheridan, the city that Dish Network was located in
Population
at the time.
2,123.
You crack me up,
It's
dude.
true, though.
There's no way that's true.
8 cops. Oh, I know.
No, there's like 50 cops. It's like the smallest school district in Metro Denver. I went to Sheridan. Anyway, the
Glendale probably is.
No, Sheridan.
What was I say?
I think Sheridan's the smallest metro area school. Anyway, friend I went to school with, his dad was the mayor, and he got us these jobs at Dish Network. I was pretty good at it, actually.
Sheridan, Colorado, population 5,791.
With 4,000 police cars. And then, it was a great job. I was responsible for paying out any discrepancies between Dish Network and retailers. I paid out a shiz ton of money, man. And you had to be high to just do that job. I can't imagine talking to customers. I could talk back to the retailers. I could be like, yo, look, you screwed up. I'm not paying you. I'm sorry. You can either go back and correct it this way, or there's nothing we could do. And then somebody would be like, say, I'm going to kill you. You stole my money. And I'd be like, sir, you are now fired from Dish Network.
You could fire
terminate their contract.
Oh.
Not me personally. I would just send it off to the security team and be like, all right.
Answer me this, Timothy, hometown, a longtime resident of Colorado. It says Sheridan is a home rule municipality in Arapahoe County. What the hell is a home rule municipality?
Pretty much everywhere in Colorado is a home rule municipality.
Are there some that are...
I don't think anybody's not...
away game municipalities?
No. Home rule means that you are like... I mean, you're like, God damn it, I don't know the exact.
Give it to me in your word. Use your words.
I mean, we're a home rule state, so we pretty much like make rules and stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look it up here.
Okay.
Home rule. Should we go to Irish home rule?
No.
In the United States, some states they can make up their own laws. That's what it is. In the United States, some states constitutionally or legislatively grant home rule to cities, countries, and municipalities within their borders. These are called home rule states. Local governments in home rule states are free to pass laws and ordinances as they see fit to further their operations within the bounds of the state and federal constitution. In other states, local governments have only the authority expressly granted to them by state legislators, typically in accordance with the legal principle known as Dillon's rule. I like home rule.
What towns don't have it, and what do they have going on there?
We're a home rule state.
Okay.
Everybody has it.
All right, so you said just about. I was wondering if there was an
exception.
exception.
Because I wanted to be safe. Because you threw me off there. I got to think back to my American government that I did decently well in, but that was like freaking 2001. It's pretty much a big part of what's allowed us to have cannabis so freely in Colorado, by the way. Places like Denver, Breckenridge, Nederland legalized cannabis before the state did. I mean,
criminalized.
Legalized it.
Come on. Why do I not know? I'm not familiar with this.
Because you don't pay attention.
Because I'm a noob still?
Yeah. Breckenridge, Nederland, and Denver all legalized marijuana before the state did. First people in the entire country, although state law trumped local law.
Gotcha.
So it's purely symbolic, but it happened. 3 places. So part of the whole avalanche of things that people were like, just fark it. Everybody's legalizing it in this damn state anyway, and everybody smokes it. As I'm walking to the light rail today, this, like, I don't know, dude was like 70 years old. He looked 70, 80 years old. Who knows how old he was. Just
smoking a joint.
Walking down the street, smoking a doobie.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the light rail.
I saw that guy.
And I was like, you saw him? No, he was all the way on my side of town.
I see him all the time.
He was over by 5 points by the Cervantes.
That guy in quotes. I see old dudes smoking joints all the time.
Dude, I like half wanted to ask him for a hit, but he looked kind of tired and worn, so I was like,
did you want to smoke, or did you want it just for the novelty of smoking with a random oldie?
No, I was honestly wanting to get high at that time.
Oh, okay.
I took a hit before I left, and then I was like, damn, I wish I had got higher. And then there was like weed right in front of me, and I'm like, jeez, Colorado is awesome. And then when I got off the light rail at Broadway, I swore to goodness I smelled weed. I was like, this is not me. I don't have any bags on me or anything.
And just to see if you smelled like weed, did you start touching your chest like that?
I did. I was like...
No, you were just like...
No, I went to go see if I had my bag on me. Then I remembered I didn't have any weed, and I was like, somebody smoked weed.
You should have remembered that first. Would have saved you a trip.
What, of my hand?
I just didn't know if you saw your hand traveling up your chest then when you were talking. That's interesting.
I was acting out what I was doing.
I know.
Smart ass.
It's not a matter of that. Just like psychology. Body language and whatnot.
You bug me in the most annoying way sometimes.
Tell me how.
You just point out the most ridiculous things.
I can't help. I'm very observant, and it just drives me crazy. I have to say what I'm saying sometimes.
Well, you can continue.
I haven't said anything about your nasal hair, and I won't.
Shut up.
I said I won't.
Everybody has nose hair.
Of course. That's why I couldn't figure. I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't know why he's getting mad. It's not like something.
My nose hair tickles me. It does.
Here's the thing. It's not like I made fun of a deformity of yours or something that that's quote wrong with you, or not that there anything is. I was just pointing out a hair, and you're like, it was.
All right, can I get back to the news?
It's with this last sentence you can't. You were making it seem like I was pointing out a hair across your ass.
Maybe I am self-conscious.
You shouldn't be. It's just a hair. Pluck it or something. Damn. Can't even see it anymore.
How about you just stop talking?
I trim my nose hair like once a month. takes about 14 seconds a nostril.
Would you just shut up? You could have get muted in a minute. God. Where was they at in the damn story? There's a tiger in this advertisement on the right on this story.
I'm only interested in ligers.
And it made me realize that
Tigers
I
are
still
boring
haven't been
after
to the zoo
you've
yet.
seen a liger. I've never been to the Denver Zoo. Have you?
You should make a trip to the zoo.
I may have to go Saturday. I may not have to, but Melanie's working there Saturday.
She's there Saturday?
Yes.
Well, then come and pick me up and let's go. Let's all go.
Well, she's got to be there early for work.
Wait, we have a party on Saturday here.
It's Saturday afternoon.
Damn, we can't go.
I mean...
Wait, we could go early. Come on, let's go.
I'm telling you.
Let's go to the zoo on Saturday, me and you. We can
It's
spend
either-
quality time. Look, we could bond.
I'm saying...
This might solve situations
I'll go.
where we're fighting
There's
between
no
each other.
situations.
Or it may make it worse.
I think it's either Nikon or Canon is having like a go to the camera and go
Canon.
Go to the zoo and test out $20,000 camera time of the year.
Because she works for a camera.
She works for a camera place.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be cool.
I'm due for a zoo visit.
You said you haven't ever been to the Denver Zoo, didn't you?
No, I love zebras, and I saw that they have.
I saw you post that up.
Well, no,
you're such a doofus.
With the zonkies in the in the Zorses.
There's no way that is.
It's real. Do you want to call them right now? I'll get. It's in Colorado on the western slope.
Dude, I would call him if.
There's a farm. There's this farm that bred a zebra with a horse and a zebra with a donkey, and they have a Zorse and a Zonky farm. I'm gonna find them.
If we were live and not recording right now, I totally would call him. I think it's illegal for us to call him without.
As long as you say you're live on the air.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah. You are right.
So
how did you know that? See, you knew more than me there.
Thank you, Howard Stern.
I had to remember that. That's not in every state, though. That doesn't work in every state. In Colorado, it does. Not everywhere.
Well, we're in Colorado.
So Zonky?
A Zonky and a Zorse. They're pretty damn cool.
So wait.
Zebras and ZorsesUnlimited.com. Here it is. Bartles Livestock.
It looked like a Photoshop picture that you posted.
In Grand Junction, Colorado. Dude, look at this little cuddly-sized zebra. It's like a apartment-sized zebra. But hold on, let me show you a Zorse first. Zorses and Zonkies, and they have camel rentals as well. If you ever need to rent a camel while you're here in Colorado.
Not a camel, it's a llama.
Now look. Oh my God, these things are awesome. Check it. There's a Zonky.
His legs are like, here, put it in front of the camera. See if the camera will focus on it. Here, bend it down a little bit. I can't really see it. It looks like he has like warm-up socks on.
Dude,
like striped warm-up socks.
It's a Zorse.
Those look so messed up. That looks like it shouldn't even be an animal.
Grand Junction,
exists.
They're doing this. Maybe it's tweakers or something, like really advanced tweakers.
You're probably gonna go like down to Grand Junction and check out this, and you won't drive like 10 miles over to get a shirt.
No, I won't go to Grand Junction for this. There's really no reason to go to Grand Junction. I mean, look at the leg.
Really, there is no reason to go to Grand Junction.
Meth. Look at the legs on this thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Zebra legs and a donkey ass.
Zorse.
Oh, yeah. All right, finishing off with this story we should really get to. A trial court disagreed that medical use... Wait, here we go. Brandon Coates, a quadriplegic medical marijuana patient who was fired from his job as a telephone operator at Dish Network after testing positive for marijuana, said the statute should apply in his case since there is no evidence he was impaired on the job. Man, everybody that we worked with over at Dish Network in corporate, in that phone group, these 12 people we worked with, they all knew me and like 10 other people. There was only like 2 people that didn't blaze. Dudes in that group became my hookup for weed. Because it was like, well, why am I going to worry about going somewhere else to get weed when that's all I have to do is go to work to pick up my weed? And there was like 3 or 4 different levels of tiers of payment. You know, it's like dude would like whip out a little case and open it up, and it'd be like, do. Like, all right, I'll take this sack because it looks like it's just glowing red. For some reason, whoever he got this greens from, he's super red-haired bud. I always tried to get that as much as I could because it was good. That was fun. We'd go out and toke in the lot. Shame on you, Dish Network. Shame on you. A trial court disagreed. There was no evidence that he was impaired on the job, but in doing so, cited a previous court ruling that said the state's medical marijuana law only creates exemptions for prosecutions and not rights. Thursday's rulings by the... But you know what's funny is our medical marijuana law is built into the state constitution. So, in my opinion, which, I mean, I'm no judge or anything, that kind of gives you absolute right to use medical marijuana. And also now, since Amendment 64 is a part of our Constitution, this is just so frustrating.
Yes.
It's one of those things that where it's still the stigma attached. But you can drink.
Right. Well, they can fire you for drinking, too.
You know, the older I get, the more jobs allow you to sort of slip and slide on the drink thing. You know, the more responsibility that you have on a job, the more I've seen you be able to have a drink or two on the job. Smaller companies, sometimes. And what's crazy is that not everyone is like this in the glassblowing industry, but there's a lot of beers being drank while people are on the torch.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hot there. They get thirsty.
They're artists, man. That's really what you... I mean, when you get into glass blowing, or if you're really into glass yourself, that's one thing you really notice, is that these people are artists more than anything. Like, you know, there's production workers that work lathes and, you know, bust out things and just, you know, do the day-to-day things. But most of the time, these people are artists. And you find that out through their way of living. Their life.
Artists are messy, is that what you're saying?
No, not all the time. They just like to have fun. Like to go to festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them like to build big old water gun, spray gun looking things that spray butane out of them, which then in turn creates a flamethrower.
It's beautiful.
There may be competitions for these said flamethrowers.
Other competitions?
There's competition for there was a
who else is making them?
There was a competition at this point. I think that they did a flame off type thing where Bates and a few other people made flamethrowers and got voted on. But also last year there was, you know, like the robot wars that they have, that like George Takei or whatever his name is. I think he like
Sulu
hosts it. But you know what I'm talking about, right? The battle bots.
No, I don't know.
You do not watch a single bit of TV, dude.
Don't own a television to watch one on. You don't know
shit about any kind of culture on the tube. Okay, there's this show where people build these robots.
Yeah.
And they like put like saws and flamethrowers and axes on them. And I mean, they're like deadly machines, dude.
Oh, man.
Deadly machines. And then they battle it out in an arena. Like this. And the arena has like flames and saws and crazy shit that comes down. And
what?
Dude, it's awesome.
No,
anyway.
It sounds like I'm not missing a thing on television.
How can you not be interested in that? Last year there was a destruction derby. Remote controlled cars that had glass frames built around.
I saw that at Age last month, whatever.
That's awesome.
I think Ham won, actually.
That's awesome, dude. There's limitations on size of glass you can use. All kinds of other stuff. So sweet.
Cannon.
Nothing. The court ruled on a much broader conclusion, saying that nothing illegal federally can be considered lawful under the Lawful Off-Duty Activities Statute. While we agree that general purpose of the Lawful Off-Duty Activities Statute is to keep an employer's proverbial nose out of an employee's off-site, off-hours business. Court of Appeals Judge Janice Davidson wrote in the opinion, "We can't find no..."
Can't find no...
What? That was me. God dang it. Denver Post reset their... Denver Post and 9 News resets their pages. They refresh their shiz. Just refreshed. I gotta find it here. Hold on. We can find no legislative intent to extend employment protection to those engaged in activities that violate federal law. Judge Jose Marquez concurred in the opinion, but Judge John Webb disagreed, saying that lawful off-duty activity statute should be read as only concerning state law. I agree, you're a state judge. You need to make decisions on a state level. Okay? We're a home rule state. We already accomplished that. Federal law and the Constitution allows for states to make up their own rules and test them, therefore, so that the federal system can adopt them. This is the whole reason why we have states! Sorry for yelling.
There's some commonwealths as well.
It's still a state.
Yeah, it's Commonwealth. My Massachusetts driver's license doesn't say state
Shut up.
on it anywhere. Birth certificate doesn't say state on it anywhere. Commonwealth. Canon Commonwealth.
If an employee's off-duty activity violated only federal criminal law, that activity might well warrant termination based on a bona fide occupational requirement of the position, Webb wrote in the dissent. But if employee's activity was unlawful only under federal law, and it did not relate to such a requirement, then the employee would be protected from termination. All 3 judges agreed, however, in reversing the trial court's ruling that Coates should have to pay Dish Network's attorney fees for the case. Ooh, that's good. So he doesn't have to pay for Dish Network's attorney fees. What a dick Dish Network is. God.
Yeah, we know this.
I really wanted to like this company because, I mean, it wasn't a bad company to work for. They did have a asshat that was like the main boss that we worked with. He was a director over there at Dish Network. But other than that, I mean, everybody was pretty cool to work there. It's the first times I got to work in a studio and get paid for it. I did camera work for Dish Network and their broadcasts to retailers and the like weekly customer broadcast that they did, informing like changes, all kinds of other stuff. Shane Marlette, my good friend Shane that plays in the band Peace, Love, and Destruction, actually got to see for the first time in a long time. Like 10 years at least here. A couple weeks ago, met him over at Dish Network. He worked in the production studio over there.
Wow.
So
you were like 13 years old working at Dish Network.
Well, I was like right out of high school.
18, 13, 20-teen.
I was making good money over there too.
I just saw the
I should have stuck with that.
minimum wage.
I was going to go to school
like
and do
$7
broadcasting.
an hour.
That is like
$7.36 an hour.
Dude, you can't live off anything under $10 an hour.
Untaxed.
Yeah, $10 an hour is pushing it. You better get some roommates.
Move into a hostel.
Thursday's decision comes as lawmakers are debating how to legalize marijuana for anyone 21 and older. Amendment 64, the measure that legalizes use and possession of up to an ounce of marijuana for adults, says employees can still create drug policies governing marijuana. A state task force subsequently recommended that section be interpreted as allowing employers to fire employees for off-site marijuana use. Off the job, off-site. The Court of Appeals ruling is more evidence that despite Colorado's place as the forefront of liberalizing marijuana laws, employees who smoke marijuana off-duty do so at their own risk. Really, in Colorado, though, I mean, this doesn't surprise me. This needs to line up with alcohol is what needs to happen, but it doesn't surprise me. I didn't ask if alcohol was covered under the... I think it is. It is. Yes, because it's legal federally.
Sure.
Drink off duty. Damn it. I wish Matt's was still here. He left. I wish there was a lawyer in the house. We don't
There's
have
no lawyer here?
There's no lawyer here.
What are we
What
gotta
are we
get
gonna
out of
do?
here?
I know. We gotta leave, dude. Lock the door.
Turn off the lights.
We ain't here no more. Last night's Rockies game went like 12 innings.
Who won?
The Rockies, I think.
Oh.
So you can get fired for having a blue shirt. I mean, you can get fired for anything in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So I'm kind of torn on this issue. I think it's ridiculous that companies would fire you for doing something that's legal in Colorado off-site, and you can drink. Differences being that federally marijuana is still illegal. I mean, I get it. It just sucks. And actually, I'm not. I mean, Dish Network just sucks, and I just disagree with saying that. I mean, I just disagree with courts not backing up, state courts not backing up state rulings. That is a problem for me. That's the problem I have.
I can't figure it out.
I feel like a company, though, should be able to fire you for whatever they want to fire you for. It sucks that Dish Network be such asshats about this and be such dicks, but I really do believe that a company should be able to pick and choose its employees at will, whoever they want. If you suck in some way, you should be fired. You know, if your company policy is something like...
If you suck in some way...
You should be... That's in performance.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like a smoker, heavy drinker, something like that, you know, I honestly believe that you should be able to trim your team and have your team as best as you can make them. And in your mind as a business owner. I guess what makes, you know, part of owning a business so great in this country. And Colorado different than other states. I mean, really, the only thing you can't get fired for is for your actual rights. You know, you can't get fired for being black. You can't get fired for being white. Shit's like that.
Well, I thought you could get fired for anything.
You can't get fired for your constitutional rights. So, which we just got done saying that marijuana is in the Constitution,
right?
And is a right. But still, it's an activity that you can. So farked up. If you can get fired for smoking cigarettes, then you should be able to get fired for smoking marijuana. If you can get fired for drinking, there just should be more protections. I don't know. Anyway,
be your own boss.
I pretty much just read to you the whole situation here.
Or like,
couldn't find the summary.
Elliot commented and said, "Know your employer."
Know your employer?
Know your employer.
No, that's very important, you know? And in Colorado, it's becoming easier and easier for you to select your employers and who's people. It's becoming apparent who's good with greens.
And not all workman's comp insurance makes you a pee in a cup either.
Not all workman's comp. You don't have to take a drug test. I thought that was a federal.
FYI, that's what someone else thought too. I'll tell you.
Really?
Tell you my experience with that real quick. 11 days after I moved here, this is going back 6 years ago, started working on my first day here, and 11 days into it on a Sunday, long story short, I ended up cutting my hand up really bad right here in the web, and needed surgery, and I started smoking hard as soon as I got to Colorado. I definitely would piss dirty, and I didn't even know that was a thing here until in Massachusetts. It wasn't like that when I was there. So a lot of people were like, "What? You're collecting workman's comp and you smoke weed? How the hell did you pull that off?" I said, "They didn't ask me to piss."
That's interesting.
But I have been on jobs here where I saw a guy go down, hurt his back, and they escorted him to the doctor's office.
I've never heard of a time where they haven't been drug tested off of a workman comp situation.
Yeah, not me, sir.
That's very interesting.
I got my what I was due.
That's very interesting.
I wasn't even.
So how do you feel about this then? You haven't even said anything about how you feel necessarily.
I'm clearly just flabbergasted by this situation. I don't see. I mean, and I'm sick of banging my head. I'm saying, why is it not being treated like alcohol? More like alcohol, because it's so many times I've pointed out examples where it's not being treated like alcohol, where it should be.
But it is more and more.
Not.
Which is the trump card, is becoming the trump card in our awesome Colorado situation. Is that okay? Whenever it's going to be regulated heavier than alcohol, it's brought up that, hey, look, in the Amendment 64 it says regulate like alcohol, and it's worked. It's worked towards our benefit a few times.
You can
not so much a few times, but I think it's honestly been a great tool for us to be able to argue with.
All right, well, you can go to several dozen city parks here in Colorado and drink 3-2 beer in public and open, not in a brown bag.
But that's one thing that's specifically stated in Amendment 64.
Joint in public parks without going to jail for 15 days.
It was specifically stated in Amendment 64, no public use. So you have to take with the people that wrote it.
I hear you. Well, that's not like alcohol. I'm just pointing out another point where it's not like alcohol.
Going back and changing a constitutional amendment is pretty freaking hard, even in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
We have the largest constitution in the entire nation. And we're also like the most powerful constitutional state.
We're a young state.
We kick ass.
We're pretty cool.
I think our constitution is even bigger than California's. I may or may not be right on that. We have a massive constitution. It's one of the biggest in the nation, and it's one of the most powerful for the people. Because the people can add to it. So, not easily, but at their will, which is great. I mean, I love that part about our state. They've been trying to change that for years now, though, making it harder to put something into the Constitution. And that keeps getting rejected, too. Because you know why? We're a home rule state, and people want to make decisions for themselves and have it easy to make decisions for themselves.
Please.
In fact, if the situation wouldn't have been like it was to be able to get measures on the ballot and into the Constitution, it would have been, we would not have medical marijuana like we have it. Everything is played so greatly into where we're at right now in Colorado, and the people have, the grassroots movement, dispensaries, lawmakers have rode the wave really great. I mean, it's used everything to our benefit. Number one thing that this state has that is a lot better and bigger, maybe not even bigger, but a lot better than other states, is that we have that grassroots foundation that has built what we have today, that fights to get things like the DUID bill kicked out, and then the legislature's got to go and backdoor it in and tag it on to the end of the Amendment 64 bill, which is crappy. Follow the will of the people, please. Will you please just follow the will of the people, all right? There's a reason why this didn't get into the bill. Because when it was argued, there was no real science behind it. When it was argued, it was worried that innocent people were going to be harmed in this situation. The DUID THC bill is just a feel-good bill for people that are scared. And in fact, the governor...
I don't feel good.
The governor, in a rare situation where it's not very often that the Governor Hickenlooper puts his word out to say, look, we need to do something. But on this THC bill, he did. Yesterday said, look, we need to make our roads safer. We need to pass this THC bill. I don't know exactly what the quote was.
He hates weed.
He's not a big fan of weed.
He hates weed.
You know what's funny, though?
Tell me, please. I need to know.
He kind of got where he got today off of
booze.
off a beer. A dang old beer.
Whiskey, right?
No, wine. Was it the Wine Coop brewery?
I think you're right.
Multiple. It's not just one. I think it was multiple. I'm not very familiar. I pay attention sometimes to the governor's history, and for a minute there, I knew what the companies were, but I don't care that much. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
He got his money, pioneered himself through something that still has echoes of prohibition in it. I mean, it does.
I hear you.
I mean, there's still dry counties in the United States.
Told you why it's called a package store in Massachusetts.
A what?
A package store.
A package store?
Yeah, a liquor store is a package store.
Package store. I don't think you did tell me that.
Sure, it was one of the first stories I told on this.
Oh, well, I don't remember then.
From Prohibition, you couldn't get booze.
But what could you...
You could go into a bootleg shop called a package store.
Yeah.
And you come out with a bundle package all tied up. And what's in it was none of your goddamn business. So don't ask me. It's a package. I'm going to go home and I'm going to drink this goddamn package and get shit-faced. And go get another package. And walk right by your mother and not say a word. I'm seeing what the Wikipedia definition is. That was just my rough interpretation.
Package is none of your damn business.
You know, there's a liquor store in Massachusetts called, there's a few of them, there's a chain, small chain called Bunghole Liquors.
What?
Bunghole Liquors.
Bunghole?
Bunghole? Bunghole.
In Colorado, you can only own one liquor license at a store, I think.
Massachusetts is corrupt as hell. We can do whatever we want. They can do whatever they want there. I bet you Boston Steve is saying something about Bunghole Liquors because he's up there in the North Shore where they are at. I bet you they have I'm just going to go to bungholeliquors.com. I'm not even going to search it.
Oh, jeez.
Bunghole. Here it is. Google search. Bunghole Liquors is one to search for it. And we have Bunghole Liquors, T-shirts, drinking games, beer pong. Places for Bunghole Liquors. Bunghole Liquor Store, 204 Derby Street, Salem, Massachusetts, 978-744-2251. There's also one in Peabody, Mass, 79 Lowell Street.
I'm sure we need all that information.
Do you want the history of Bunghole Liquors?
No, not really.
Okay.
Are you done?
For now.
Are you done with your bunghole?
The bunghole's done. Do you want to hear what a package store is? Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Follow the bunghole with the package.
Your bunghole packages. You can
You're
get
dragging
packages
things down here, dude.
You can get packages at the bunghole. 2 locations. Package store, noun. A store that sells bottled or canned alcoholic beverages for consumption off premises.
Awesome.
That's kind of the lame definition.
Your definition was a little bit more exciting.
Thank you.
By the way, did you see that picture of the JDR trichomes?
I did, and right before we went on the air, I asked you, who did that? And you said, shit, we're going on the air in 2 seconds. You never told me. Who did it?
I got to get that.
I had to zoom way the hell in to see it.
You had to zoom in to see it? That's because you got like an 8-inch screen.
What phone do you have, by the way? I meant to ask you.
S3.
Samsung S3?
Yeah. I saw them talking about the S4 yesterday, which has got these all crazy like things like when you look away from the screen, you're watching a video, it pauses.
That's
and you run your hand over the top of it, you like swipe it like and
fast forward.
And you it does hand motion stuff and things like that.
That's the S3.
Mile High Seeds, dude over at Mile High Seeds.
Oh yeah, he was the first one I saw that did that for himself.
Joey. I saw him this weekend over at the Cannabis Cup, and he was like, "Dude, he was talking to me about the pictures, which I mean, the pictures aren't doctored at all. You can go to my Facebook page and the John
He's growing JDR trichome heads.
You can go to the John Doe Radio Show Facebook page or my Facebook page, and they're in there in the pictures. And it takes the logo and basically like kind of it mirrors off of the trichomes and takes a close-up shot of the trichomes, and the logo is right there in it. It looks really freaking cool. And if it would show up on the camera, I'd show you a picture of it right here, but it's not. I guess I could screen cap it. Or you could just go to the John Doe Radio Show Facebook page and check it out. Those are pretty cool, dude.
You know what I heard, by the way?
There's a bunch of people that have those pictures, too. They're not just the JDR logos in them, but...
There's a shop in town that's getting a drop of oil today that is...
Just a drop?
Well, you're just getting a dab. They're getting
a delivery.
A guy dropping off a bunch of oil. I don't know how much. How much. A drop.
Pay way too much. You pay way too close attention to things. That's why you know it's a drop, because that's how the industry calls it. It's a drop.
Listen, that's how they announced
Pink House
it.
specifically.
No, this was Gaia plant-based medicine. You know, it's interesting. It caught my attention because they're dropping some oil that's G13.
So?
It's not G13 crossed with anything. It's straight G13. No, I don't know a lot of people growing G13.
It's because it's not a great strain.
If you can, there's not a lot of great strains.
If you can grow G13 well, right. I've seen it grow well, but it's not that hard. That's not that easy of a strain to grow well. Plus, it's not worth your time.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't think it tastes well.
Here's the thing.
It's like a butterscotchy weird.
No, I disagree. G13 gets me high like Jack Harrow does. Like giggly 18-year-old smoking swag.
It doesn't get me high really at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
From any of them that I smoked, even the good stuff, I don't like it. I don't like it.
The good stuff. Well, like G13 hash plant or like the crosses.
The crosses are different. G13 straight is not one of my favorites. It's probably second
just
to
haven't
worst.
Had the good one.
It's probably second to worst only because
second to worst.
The worst strain absolutely like gives me weird. I mean, gives me a migraine every time I smoke it.
What?
Sweet Island Skunk.
Oh, even when it's in the Golden Goat form?
Dude, pure Sweet Island Skunk straight up is like a weird sativa that just farks with my eyes and like just triggers a migraine. I don't know what it is, but like I've noticed it. I grew it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'd stopped smoking this thing, but it is a huge seller. Huge seller. But it's a lot of time it gives me a headache. I'm not a fan of it. Trainwreck alone does too sometimes. I've tried to stay away from that.
Wow,
but if it's mixed, if it's cross, but A-Train, the Arcata Trainwreck mixed with the... What is the A-Train? Arcata Trainwreck, Afghani Mazari Sharif is what the cross is. And that is one of my favorite crosses that there is, period. One of the most amazing smells. It smells like red wine. The pheno that I had at this A-Train, which is from TH Seeds.
Turn it up.
This was stuck in my head. The whole
I'm sorry.
freaking... No, you singing this was stuck in my head the whole afternoon yesterday.
Are you just going to skip it?
No, I'm gonna stay with it because
right, cool.
It annoyed the fark out of me yesterday though, and it's stuck in my head. All right, Harvard Law School offers. Are we done talking about what we were talking about?
We were talking about G13. I'm just excited because it's been probably 3 or 4 years since I've seen straight G13, and
it's the straight G.
And it's oil, and it's made by.
What's your favorite strain right now?
My favorite strain right now? I don't know. What do you have over there?
I don't have anything over here.
All right. Well,
it's down to the oil that I have. Sucks.
My favorite strain is whatever I get this afternoon to smoke.
You don't have a specific favorite strain?
I hate being pigeonholed to be.
I'm just asking. That's why I asked.
Only
That's why I
likes
asked. Smart.
Grape Ape times OG.
That's why I asked you. What is your favorite
Rare
strain
Darkness.
right now?
Right now.
Yeah, you were like, really? Is this really a strain, Rare Darkness?
It was a typo. It was a victim of autocorrect.
I was like, I looked at it too, and I was like,
Melanie pointed it out to
somebody's
me.
ripping them off.
I was like, I thought I knew everyone in town, or
so
of everyone in town.
So they have a strain called Rare Darkness.
Yes, it's Grape Ape times
OG.
their RD1 male, which is a
Rare Darkness OG,
which is a backcross worked OG. It's their super OG.
Yeah. Scott's shiz is fire, man. I mean,
I like a lot of that stuff.
Honestly, man, his shiz is fire. Like, there's not really anything that he has that I don't like. And that Grape Ape strain, like Grape Ape is a fantastic strain.
Grape Ape.
It makes incredible hash.
Did you see that joint that Jackie gave me last week? I was smoking on the air. You were probably too busy, but that was a Grape Ape fatty.
Right on. It's a good strain. I do like it a lot.
Right on.
I like the hash way better than I do the weed. The weed's good, but the hash is way freaking good.
Right on.
Water hash of it.
Oh my, right on. Purple.
Great.
Purple water hash, right on.
It is darker. Yeah, darker hash than usually you would get.
You get grape drink in the bucket when you're making some purple hash.
It's funny as water turns color. And booyah shaka. I am gonna fast forward this part right here because that's your part. I deprived you of that. I can't have you saying that, dude, because it just gets stuck in my head. Don't say it. It will get stuck in my head.
Unsatisfactory.
Don't sing.
I feel unsatisfied, Tim.
Good, because it's
like you
stuck in my head.
Pulled
the
out
rest of the day.
of the song too early for me to be able to get satisfaction from it. Couldn't believe selfishness.
Yep.
Oh my.
Harvard Law School offers tax planning for marijuana dealers. I'm the last one to say this. Dude, I gotta get rid of these headphones. It's shot.
You're the last person to say that you have to get rid of these headphones?
I was reading the beginning of the story. I'm the last one to say this is a silly topic because it is not. But you have to admit it sounds a little funny. Bizarrely. And there's much in our tax law that's downright bizarre. There's actually need for this kind of down and dirty tax planning session, and someone should bring the Cheetos. Why does everybody always have to make smart ass
There's like a
comments?
Hickenlooper wise ass comment.
Why does everybody always have to make smart ass
Oh,
comments?
they're gonna eat all the Cheez-Its and goldfish, eh?
That's good. Goldfish are good.
Trans fat,
Cheez-Its
yeah.
not so much, dude.
What?
Cheez-Its are made by Kellogg's.
No,
company.
they're not.
I'm pretty sure they're made
They're
by
made by
Kellogg's
Sunshine.
companies. Kellogg's own company, and Kellogg's fired Michael Phelps, and you still ain't cool with Kellogg's. Kellogg's has some of the most damn stoner-friendly cereal. Like, they have this, like, fudge, the sugar cover, or like this chocolate-covered s'more cereal that I was like, I loved getting.
Yep.
And then Michael Phelps got fired, and I never went and...
Because of that?
Yes. Boycott their asses.
I don't eat much cereal anyways, but I'd have to laugh at you for that.
No, forget
Do
it.
you think you made an impact on them?
I think that the stoner community made an impact on them.
Do you?
I think we did.
I think they don't give an F.
I don't think they do either, but I give a shiz enough to not give them my money. I don't want to be a dumbass that gives a company that doesn't like me.
It's Dumas.
Like, why would you, as a company that sells plenty of stoner treats, pretty much stoners probably keep your company floating, why would you hate on us?
Because they can.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to buy from them. Because I can. Perhaps Harvard's Board of Trustees will get wind of it and get upset, but the ire should be directed at tax rules that need fixing. Now that we have legalized medical marijuana in 18 states and D.C., I think it's 19 states and D.C.
Yes,
now.
update,
Can these
please.
businesses be run like businesses? Not really. Massachusetts was the most recent entrant, and its marijuana business... not the most recent entrant, which... Illinois, Connecticut. Anyway, I digress.
Maryland.
Was the most recent entrant, and its marijuana businesses like those in all other states face legal and tax problems. For that matter, Colorado and Washington have even legalized recreational use. Again, tax problems there too. Why? Because even legal dispensaries are drug traffickers to feds. Section 280E, which is very familiar to us in the cannabis industry, of the tax code denies them tax deductions even for legitimate business costs. Of all the federal enforcement efforts, taxes hurt most. And smash and grabs, like what's going on in San Diego. The federal tax situation is the biggest threat to businesses and could push the entire industry underground. The leading trade publication for marijuana industry reports, which is... what are they saying is the lead trade industry? MMJ Business Daily again. How do they keep getting quoted? This time in Forbes, dude. MMJ Business Daily. I don't think I've gone to them for. I think the only time I've seen them is they did a story on us. I think though, John Doe Radio.
Really?
Yeah.
On you or us?
On me, I think.
Okay.
Like years ago. Anyway.
Although Tim is interesting, his hat slides below his eyebrows, and I can't help but wondering what's going on under there. His story was like that.
If a dispensary sells marijuana, if a dispensary sells marijuana and is in the separate business of caregiving, the caregiving expenses are deductible. If only 10% of the premises are used to dispense marijuana, most of the rent is deductible. Good record keeping is essential. Another idea was presented April 24th at Harvard by Professor Benjamin Leff at American University's Law School. Professor Leff's paper carried an unvarnished title, Tax Planning for Marijuana Dealers. It was part of Harvard's tax policy seminar hosted by Harvard professor Stephen Shea. Mr. Leff correctly pointed out that 280E Catch-22, the 280E Catch-22, and came up with another end run. Marijuana sellers could operate a nonprofit social welfare organization.
Say social welfare again with a southern accent.
Why?
You just said social welfare.
Marijuana sellers could operate a nonprofit social welfare.
Yes.
Social welfare. Could operate a nonprofit social welfare organization. He suggested to see growing the business how legal marijuana sellers can beat a draconian tax. Google that. That way, Section 280E shouldn't apply. A social welfare organization must promote the common good and general welfare of people in its neighborhood or community, operating businesses in distressed neighborhoods to provide jobs and job training for residents. That could fit a dispensary nicely. You don't have a Harvard you don't have to have a Harvard blah, blah, blah.
Harvard education.
Obviously, I don't.
Harvard education.
You don't need a Harvard education to see that there's something wrong with this picture. Meanwhile, Congressman Jared Polis and Ed Blumenauer have introduced a bill to end federal prohibition on marijuana to allow it to be taxed. This legislation would remove marijuana from the Controlled Substances Act. That way, growers, sellers, and users could no longer fear violation of federal law. Their Marijuana Tax Equity Act would also impose an excise tax on cannabis sales, an annual occupational tax on dealing. God, I can't see straight here. Workers dealing in the growing field of legal marijuana.
Fields of marijuana.
Would you stop interrupting me?
I can't help it.
You're like the dude on stage with a rapper that's like...
Well, there's different things that you say.
Get up, stand up, come on.
When you're speaking, I hear things that you don't while you're speaking, and I can just get in quick ones while you're going.
Whatever happens, it's at least good that someone is paying attention to this mess. So, as we just said, marijuana sellers could operate as nonprofit social welfare organizations. That way, Section 280E shouldn't apply. A social welfare organization must promote a common good and general welfare of the people in its neighborhood or community, operating business in distressed neighborhoods that provide jobs and job training for residents. Hey, hey, hey.
Evil genius.
2 Chainz is off the hook. 2 Chainz.
The chain
Tupac
is off the
with
hook.
a nose ring.
So what?
2 Chainz, Tupac with a nose ring.
I don't know what that means.
It's just the lyric in
Carry
the song.
on.
Lyric in his song. I'm different. Ooh, I'm different. I'm different. Ooh, I'm different. Do 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 do. We saw this one coming from a mile away. 2 Chainz has been found not guilty of weed possession stemming from a bust where the arresting cops took pictures with the rapper. The ruling came down in Maryland yesterday after a judge determined there was not enough evidence to prove the weed found in the rapper's tour van belonged to 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz. As we previously reported, the I'm Different rapper was popped in February when cops pulled out over a van he was riding in with 6 others, though the rapper was the only one cited. That's just rapsist.
Rapsist.
The Maryland State Police officers involved in the stop took pictures with the hip-hop star, though it was never clear who initiated the impromptu shoot. Chainz complained later on Twitter about the damn police fucking with an...
What?
Damn police with an... There's an N-word in there at the end. Locked me up and then wanted pictures, SMH. You can see the 2 Chainz saying he got his hand in his pocket and they're a little bit away from him. They're like, he's like, all right, you can take a picture. That sucks for you. That was on TMZ.com. There's Kim Kardashian in a thong. That's also on TMZ.com.
Crack kills.
Her crack could probably kill you. Justin Bieber. What did he get in trouble with? Pot again? I read the update first. I should probably read the update first. TMZ has spoken with a rep for Stockholm Police Department who told us around 7:10 on Wednesday night an officer smelled weed coming from Justin Bieber's bus, which was parked in front of the Grand Hotel. Cops say when the bus left the hotel and headed toward Globe Arena, the officer contacted a special narcotics unit, which issued a warrant to search Bieber's bus. We're told cops searched the bus in the parking garage of the Globe Arena. No one was on the bus at the time. Cops say they found a small amount of narcotics. They wouldn't say which drug, but local papers say it's weed, along with a taser. We're told cops have not identified a suspect yet, and the bus has not been impounded. Bieber had been seen with his pal Lil Za in the hours before the weed incident, and FYI, Za is the guy who was seen smoking pot with Bieber at an LA home earlier this year. Cops tell us no one will be charged because they have no idea who is in possession of the drug. Since the bus was empty, they found the narcotic on the floor of the bus, so they have no clue who brought it on. The first story read, Justin Bieber is so rock and roll, his tour bus was raided by Swedish police.
Hardcore.
The Swedish police. Hey. I almost went to Canadian there. What does a Swede sound like? I should know.
I don't know.
Besides American, it's pretty much, it's my other ethnicity. I'm like 2 generations out of Sweden.
You are?
Open this biatch!
You Viking-ish?
My grandpa's parents lived in Sweden. So would that make me 2 generations? 1, my mom's generation. 2, my grandparents' generation.
You're American. Don't live in the past.
I don't mind being Swedish. I want to go to Sweden sometime. Are you kidding me?
Go ahead.
Have you seen the pictures of the things in Sweden? I'm just saying things in Sweden.
You're a little short.
Not like ladies or anything.
Oh. I don't know what else they have there.
Swedish ladies?
Tall blondes.
Swedish fingers?
Swedish meatballs?
That is probably true too.
What the hell is a Swedish finger? Is it like...
Isn't that one of those things that like your grandma gave you?
Mexican toe?
Mexican jumping bean?
Whatever that is.
Isn't it like a Swedish... No, that's a Swedish fish that I was thinking of. That's a candy.
What's a Swedish finger?
I don't know. I thought it was like one of those little cookie candy things or whatever. Cookie thing. I'm wrong. Michigan marijuana decriminalization bill introduced with bipartisan backers. Did we already tell you about that? Yeah, I think we did.
It sounds familiar.
Democratic State Representative Jeff Irwin, Jim Jeff Billy Bob of Ann Arbor wants to decriminalize marijuana in Michigan, and at least 2 Republicans agree it's time to have the debate. So we'll keep you updated on that. That's all I'm going to read of that. Because that's all I need to read of it. You know what I'm saying? That giant joint that we read about yesterday, too, that's at UC Santa Cruz, has made the rounds on the internet quite heavily, too. Everybody's covering that. This dude, like, sitting there yelling at the police officer as he's taking his joint away, telling him, I'll see you in court.
I saw that video.
The cop could have easily arrested that kid. Everybody's filming it. There's like 15 cameras up. Nobody telling the kid to shut up. This is from toketheTown.com. By the way, William Breeze was on Georgia's show this Monday doing a review of the Cannabis Cup, talking about all things awesome. Not all things, but just
most things.
Most things, which has to do with cannabis.
Some things.
Awesome. He talked about cool things.
A few things. Awesome.
Check that out. iCannabisRadio.com. Recorded shows. Georgia, her Monday night show, 7 o'clock. Also today, after the John Doe Radio Show, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, is the Hemp Connoisseur. You can find out the rest of the show listings at iCannabisRadio.com. There's a schedule there. It must be getting hot in Arizona. Our friends at the Phoenix New Times have a pair of stories worth repeating so that they never are repeated again. First up, there's Jorge Valencia, who police say was just about there and I can't read small print anymore. I think I need glasses. Who police say was just out there in the open using Facebook to sling herb like it was no big deal. William Breed's note, it shouldn't be. Nobody told Jorge about privacy settings, apparently, because police were able to see him post about what he had and how much dope money he'd been making. That probably didn't turn out for that guy very well. Let's see here. Phoenix resident Jorge Valencia has been conducting marijuana sales in view of anyone who visited his public Facebook page. There were 2 conversations between Valencia and other subjects wherein they inquired about purchasing illegal drugs from him, and he responded. Further, the officer who found the Facebook page also found a photo of Valencia with a large wad of cash. Valencia posted that this wad of cash was dope money and that he has never had a job. A probable cause statement says. Damn.
Whoa.
Police started surveillance on Valencia's Phoenix apartment last week and watched a pair of apparent drug transactions. The cops then obtained a search warrant and note that the room was the same room Valencia was taking his Facebook photos in, and they even found one of the shotguns he posed with in a photo. Not smart. Police also found a revolver in there, which is also reported stolen in 2006, as well as a 121-gram marijuana stash and packaging material. Oh, this guy's screwed. Further, the cops also took a look at Valencia's cell phone. Lock your cell phone down like a mamma jamma. If you don't lock your cell phone, they can look at it. If it's locked, I think it requires a warrant. A cell phone found in Valencia's house had a text message wherein a subject had asked Valencia for a half ounce of marijuana. Valencia responded by telling the subject to notify Valencia when he was present. Police also found another cell phone with a Facebook app that opened straight to Valencia's Facebook account. Oh, another reason not to have your Facebook open to everybody that could grab your phone. The guy has already been bonded out of jail and deleted his Facebook. Valencia was booked on 5 felony charges, 4 of them drug charges. Whew. That's not good. The gun charge, they're just going to be like, screw everything else. We're going to charge you with a gun in the operation of a crime, a drug crime. Throw you in prison for 8 years. I think that's the mandatory minimum for a gun crime.
8 years.
8 years.
Jumping. Sweet Jesus.
And the next story. Cop smells pot while driving. Phoenix woman pulls bag of weed and pipe out of her vagina.
He smelled weed in the girl's vagina while he was driving.
Oh. God, I was hoping you weren't going to take it there.
Different directions we can go with this, but I'm not gonna.
I think, it's probably not a good idea.
Nope. And just leave it at that. It's as absurd as
this
it is.
chick's kind of attractive.
Let me see her vagina. I mean,
God damn, dude.
Oh, you're looking at her face? He didn't pull her over because of her face. He pulled her over because of her vagina and the weed in it. In a pipe?
Let me just read
What kind of pipe is this? Is this Florida? Because pipes are illegal.
Bongs.
It's anything with a carb, I think, right?
Probably. A Phoenix cop smelling marijuana coming from a car last week while he was on routine patrol, and the officer ended up finding a bag of weed and a pipe after the passenger in the car pulled the items out of her vagina.
Hold on, let me pull this out of my vagina.
The officer didn't see anything in the car in plain view when he pulled over the vehicle, but we can only guess that the officer's suspicion grew when the driver pulled over into the drive-thru of a Burger King.
Hold on, let me just get a burger to put up in there with my weed, my pipe.
It was around 9 a.m. when the officer caught a whiff of the marijuana around 9th Street and Bell Road.
What?
In Phoenix.
He didn't catch a whiff of nothing.
And though he couldn't tell exactly where it was coming from, he noticed that a vehicle in front of him had its windows down and was changing lanes in a rapid fashion.
What? Scam, bull, crap. Probably speeding too, right?
Citing reasonable suspicion that the vehicle might be the one emitting the smell of weed, the officer pulled over the driver at a Burger King, although the driver apparently went a bit past the parking lot. As I approached the vehicle, I smelled a strong odor of marijuana coming from inside it. Even though I didn't see anything in plain view, I told the driver to keep the window down and drive approximately 20 feet to get out of the drive-thru of Burger King. The driver, 25-year-old Alberto Reyna, told the officer he didn't have any marijuana and said he didn't have the right to search the vehicle either.
But I do have the right to search your vagina, so would you please spread your legs?
Detained
How does this
Reyna
work?
And made his passenger, 23-year-old Stephanie Lopez, get out of the car and sit on the curb next to Reyna. While the officer unsuccessfully searched the car for marijuana, Lopez made a spontaneous statement that the marijuana was in her pants, according to documents.
Look, stop. The weed's right in my vagina, okay?
Why? Sure enough, Lopez pulled a bag of weed and glass pipe out of her vagina.
Oh!
Rolling papers were also found, but those were in the vehicle.
What? Oh.
Lopez said she was hiding the weed for Reyna. Lopez and Reyna were both booked on jail marijuana possession charges, and Reyna faces additional charges for having
vaginal
handguns with him at the time.
What? Where's the gun?
God.
Glass pipe and a sack.
I've been more interested in that story than anyone there was ever.
It just blows my mind. How do you smell weed in a woman's vagina in
they
traffic?
Were smoking it, and then as they went and got pulled over, I'm sure it was like a situation where, like, whoop.
He didn't say he smelled smoke. He said he smelled marijuana.
I'm sure that it got hid during the process of them being pulled over.
Do you have a vagina?
Dude.
How do you know how that works? You don't know what's going on down there. You don't.
I know how the mechanics of this process could work.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Well.
How it could become a...
Tim's glass pipe storage. Are you keeping your pipes, Tim?
You're gonna make me cry on that one.
Do it.
Look how red my face is, and I'm almost gonna start tearing up here.
Your eyebrows are standing on end.
Ay, dude.
What were you saying?
I don't know. I gotta catch myself where I was at.
So what happened to these poor girls?
I don't know. It was we told you. I told you at the end there.
They
were booked into jail on marijuana possession, and the dude was facing charges for having handguns.
Ah.
You're crazy, dude. Marijuana business investors in Seattle hear pitches from investors will hear pitches from marijuana business entrepreneurs at a forum coming Monday at the Columbia Tower in Seattle. According to San Francisco-based ArcView Investor Network, which is hosting the event, more than 40 high net worth investors from around the world will hear their pitches, and some of the first funded deals from the event will be announced. Cannabis is the next great American industry. A geyser is about to go off. The question is, which companies will be seated on top of it? That is what is being decided at the investor event. ArcView co-founder and CEO Troy Dayton said in a statement, voter-approved Initiative 502 creates a state-run system for growing, distributing, and selling marijuana in Washington, but it's still illegal under federal law. Everybody's talking, and even, I mean, I agree that it's going to be a huge I know this is going to be a huge situation for Colorado. I mean, we're going to have a ton of money coming in. But there was a report that came out, I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, that talked about how a study was done, and it wasn't going to be as big of a windfall to the state as everybody thought it was going to be. Let me see if I can try and Google that.
You can try.
In the news section here. Because, I mean, that's an interesting story. And very something, let's see here. You have anything to talk about? Go help me out here while I search for this, because this is an important story.
Well, you just search, and I'll just say some words here.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at this picture that Rye Pritchard tagged me in, and it's funny because he said this is one of my favorite Earl pictures from the Cubs session. Reminds me of a battle flag. Someone meme it by calling. I'm looking at you. You wanted me to meme this whale picture, but it's this picture that I looked at earlier, and it looks like a scary dragon or something. But it's a glob.
A glob? A dragon glob?
It's the third place winning pre-03 Kobe by Stay Concentrated, done by Glasshouse Alchemy.
The Kobe? That's a weird name. I don't like that name.
Pre-03 Kobe.
The 303 Kobe. That just
Pre-03.
The pre-03 Kobe?
Sir, yes, sir.
From California, I assume.
No, this is from California. From Colorado. Stay Concentrated, Glasshouse Alchemy.
This report that I was talking about, too, talked about how taxes that were supposed to be generated for schools would only reach like $20 million. And it was supposed to be like $40 million.
Yeah, I thought it was $40 million.
That's what this report that I'm trying to find said, that was all it was going to be generating. Which, I mean, I don't think that's true.
I don't either.
I'm not sure exactly where it is. I wish I'd have
13 before the hour here in Mile High City.
I wish I would have marked that, because that was a good story to read. I bet you if I go look at Medicinal Colorado's page on Facebook, which she has tons of news information, scroll through, I might be able to find it here. 55 liquor licenses in Pagosa Springs, and a pot shop ain't one. That's a good headline. 55 liquor licenses in Pagosa Springs, and a pot shop ain't one. That's funny. Let's see here. Not seeing it. Sorry, guys. I just thought this was a important topic to cover. If I had Mike over here.
You have a mic right in front of you.
If I had Mike
Use
over
it.
here. Bike Holly.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Actually fill in some time. I'd be able to actually search through this and not feel like I was making you guys feel like idiots.
Getting something done.
Man, I really wanted to find that. I'll have to find it for tomorrow or something.
End of the day, fade. That's all.
What?
End of the day, just fade.
I'm doing fine.
You did a dab about half an hour ago.
That doesn't mean anything.
Oh.
That was that was just dabbing.
You only function properly when you feed your cannabinoid system. Cannabinoid system. It's included in your body for free. You have it already.
Here's an interesting story, too. Coloradans consume more than 2.2 million ounces
Pounds
of
of
marijuana.
weed.
No.
2.2 million ounces?
Coloradans consumed more than 2.2 million ounces of marijuana annually, according to a new study that says that number will rise only slightly now that pot is legal for adults in the Centennial State.
Medically, we consume 2.2
When
million
the SPX
ounces.
crossed above
God
its
dang it. What the hell was that?
That sounded like a noise.
There's ads built into news stories. It's like highlighted, double underlined words, and you you scroll over the top of it. The damn ad pops up.
2.2 million ounces of
That's
medical
ridiculous.
weed?
Of marijuana, period. The study says an estimated 642,772,000 Colorado residents would use legal pot, as allowed under 2012's voter-approved Amendment 64. Some of those would be new users emboldened by voters' decision to legalize, while some current users will stop because marijuana has lost its forbidden fruit drive.
Yeah, not so much.
Today's been one of the funniest days of the show in a while. Just stop smoking weed because it's legal now. Screw that.
I got some sour tsunami last night.
You know what's going to happen is less kids are going to be smoking weed. You actually made it to Pink House before they got rid of it?
They had very little, but I got some, and it's good. It's foody. It's they told me it was a high CBD cut. I believe them just by the smell, and they're going to have it from now on, which is great for me because I really like high CBD strains.
The study concludes that while existing and proposed taxes on newly legal marijuana will bring in about $130 million annually, that's not enough. Oh, here's where it is. This has the thing I was looking for in it anyway. That's not enough to solve Colorado state budget problems, in large part because it will cost the state so much to regulate the industry. The price for pot, the study said, will likely drop to about $185 an ounce, or nearly $3,000 a pound. The study estimated that there will be nearly 2.4 million ounces, not counting consumables, of marijuana consumed in Colorado annually for the next few years. Are they taking into account how much is going to be needed to make Earl and all that?
I guarantee you they're not.
I don't know. I mean,
they don't even know what the hell Earl is.
I don't even think. How can they have an accurate number on this when they don't even have an accurate grip on the drug war? I don't believe this.
It's
number
like this. They just go like this and make a number up.
I'd be amazed if this number was even close to correct.
Duh.
The study said, however, there will likely be a decline in the rate of growth of consumption as the wow factor erodes over time. After an initial post-legalization period of intense interest and curiosity, consumption growth rates will stabilize or even perhaps decline, as has been the case with cigarette consumption. The study was based on data from a national survey on drug use combined with state population projections and the website priceofweed.com.
I'm going there right there.
I just went there.
What?
I just went there.
Is it a joke?
Dude, North Dakota has some of the most expensive weed in the nation, you're telling me?
It's pretty damn north, and it's out of the way as hell.
North Dakota and South Dakota, it says, have the most expensive weed in the nation.
Priceofweed.com. This is fantastic. Yeah, you can tell by the red zone. You can tell it's expensive.
Latest submissions: Lake Worth, Florida, $100 a quarter for medium.
Medium.
Latest submissions from Colorado: Boulder, 200 an ounce, high quality. Fort Collins, 80 a half ounce, medium quality. Boulder, 150 an ounce, medium quality.
That's about right.
Huh. Dude. I wonder who would. What's funny is that news story used this site. Doesn't have anything like no owning company or nothing like that. It's just, let's see, Europe. Ireland and Lithuania has some of the most expensive weed.
Well, it's pretty high.
Czech Republic. Everywhere else, weed pretty cheap.
What are you paying in Ireland? I didn't see the Ireland. I didn't think the weed would be
Ireland, it
extra
says $400
green
plus an ounce. High quality, $442 an ounce.
But the money over there is also worth more. So.
Medium, $385 an ounce. Low quality, $419 an ounce.
What are the French paying?
Damn.
Wow, $242 an ounce in France for the high quality.
Australia, Northern Territory, $584 for an ounce in the North Territory, Australia. And then you go to the South Territory, and it's $249 an ounce, they say. Wait, how does this make any sense? Here we go. High, medium, and low quality in Australia. It goes from $246, $187 to low quality of $479.
This proves that it's all who you know.
That's a typo. And then in Northern Territory in Australia, it goes from $584, $307 to $450 from high, medium, and low. That's not very accurate.
Not nice.
Guess how much an ounce for weed in Wyoming? Don't look.
I won't look. Wyoming is $350 for high.
$362.
Bob Barker style
Look,
did not go. I didn't go over.
Ding, ding. That is awesome. All right, should we do another one?
Yeah.
Let's do Washington. What it says: average price.
Washington State.
High quality weed. Average price.
$225.
$243.
Boo! I'm not looking. I'm on Facebook.
All right. What's your next choice?
Tell me. Pick it.
All right, we'll do. Let's do Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to be $375.
What the fuck? $371.
Oh, I went over. Damn it.
That's still though $370, dude. That's crazy. You're like an encyclopedia.
I'm good at guessing.
Damn. It's crazy when you guess the numbers. All right, we'll go to Florida. Florida, high quality.
$350.
$310.
It's pretty close.
Cali, high quality.
Oh man. Where in Cali?
I don't know. It just says one. There's only gives one.
On average, it's got to be $350.
$250. $180 and $167.
That's in the Emerald Triangle.
That's it's down in Fresno is what this dot is at. $300 for an ounce of weed in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
How about Texas?
Texas, you're paying about $300.
$344.
It's about $300.
$344. I wonder how much Canadians are paying for weed now. Let's check this out. Oh, the show's almost rolling now.
Beaster.com.
Holy crap, Northwest Territories of Canada. Jesus criminy. Where the hell is Nunavut, Canada?
It's up north of us.
Looks like it's in a cold-ass place. Holy shit. Heavily enforced, very intolerant. Nunavut, Canada.
$622 an ounce.
Baker Lake, Arctic Bay, Hall Beach, Coral Harbor, Baker Lake. Let's see here. $50 a gram. $425 an ounce. $700 an ounce. $700 an ounce. $600 an ounce. $250 for 5 grams. $150 for 5 grams. $250 for 5 grams. $1,000 for 5 grams.
So $50 a gram. What, $1,000 for 5 grams?
Average price of weed in Nunavut, Canada?
$200 a gram.
$859 an ounce. 9 sample size. 9 people giving their input on that. That's a little nuts, dude. I don't know about that. Even that far north. Jeez. 12 sample size entries for medium quality in Northwest Territory, $383. Canadians, eh?
That's why they drink so much beer.
All right.
Wrap it up here, Tim. There's no music.
How are you telling me what to do?
Because I'm co-producing here and stepping up.
Okay, fine. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today on the John Doe Radio Show. It was very, very, very fun.
I had a good time.
It was a good time. Tomorrow's Friday. If you get a chance,
if you ain't got shit to do,
smoke some weed.
Smoke some weed, get high.
Actually, if you do have stuff to do too, make sure that you fit some time in there to smoke some greens. All right.
Makes everything easier and better.
And get your supplies, 2118 Bel Air Street, 2118 South Bel Air Street.
Your weed
Grow
growing
your
supplies.
own.
Get your JDR T-shirts if Tim even has them, if they still exist even.
There's JDR T-shirts. You got to come pick yours up. Email me, johndoe@johndoeradio.com if you want to get yours. All right? Have a fantastic day. Until we meet again tomorrow.
See you then.
I'm your host, John Doe.
And that's about it.
See ya.
Informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Listening to anyone but your mother is just plain stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
Live.